All right, guys, so here we are to talk about Season 1, Episode 7 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel.
Yeah, the name says it all. The title says everything.
It certainly does. We finally learn about this mysterious man, sans coat. So, like, we pick up, and it's Fumigation Day at the Bronze, an annual festivity.
This is a small detail that I feel like I forgot all about. I don't know if this comes up again, but it's very quirky, and I like it.
Oh, I love it.
You get a free drink if you like catch a roach before the Fumigation Day, and even afterwards, Anders is like, "Yep, same as we left it, but with more resistant roaches. There's
hardier."
More,
Okay, so what's the difference between this and the pre-fumigation party?
Much hardier cockroaches.
Hardier, yeah, like tougher roaches now. Yes.
None of that makes any sense at all. Let's just real quick think about the business practice that is a fumigation. So if you're publicly on record for having a fumigation, you're already losing business because you have roaches. So to make it a game, like Easter egg hunt, if you will, that also hurts business by giving away a free drink, why would you do that before a fumigation? All right, give me any roach, I'll give you a drink. Tomorrow we're killing all the roaches, though.
Yeah. I think you've hit the nail on the head. They want it to become a celebration so that people don't say, I'm not going to go there. It's the worst it's ever going to be the day before they fumigate. No, I want one free drink maybe. And for that, I
guess, but it seems like you get a free drink for every roach you kill. Because at one point, Willow like stomps on one, holds up her shoe, and says, "You want a free drink?
Want a free drink?"
Xander dances again in this episode. It may be better than his previous dancing.
Oh, it is, most definitely.
Right? He's
That's the one where he's like, sorry, and walks away.
Yeah. Oh, you have a big-necked boyfriend. I'm out of here.
Hey, Annie. Dino, just leaving.
I forgot all about that. That was way early on.
And his minor interaction with Cordelia.
Yeah.
We have the three are the
three.
Potential enemy of the week.
Yeah.
I like that it starts off where you just see like three skinheads. You're like, oh, the three. And then like immediately it's like some ironclad like fucking knights priest looking mothers.
I thought one had like long hair and stuff. No.
He did.
Okay.
No. Of the bikers.
Oh, so like they're different people, you mean? You saw skinheads that were not the three?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Did you miss the subtle joke of like the episode literally opens and there's three skinheads, and then 1 second later they look up and they see the actual three and they run away.
I was like, that's not them. They aren't vampires. Those are the vampires. Yes, no.
You vampire racist. They could have been vampires.
I can tell it just by looking at them. I can see them a mile away.
Oh, this guy here.
Which makes it weird that Buffy, which Buffy can't do. She doesn't know that. She doesn't know that the Angel's a vampire. We'll get to that though. The three. I like this fake out. I like the Hercules. Other shows would do this where they build up something and it's like and just like done with. Right? They fail miserably. They get killed by Darla.
And their deaths will bring me little joy. Of course, sometimes a little is enough.
That's wonderful.
A lot of things, though, raise questions about this whole thing. So these are the three. For hundreds of years, they've never failed a mission because upon failure, they offer up their life to die.
Oh, they just had kinder masters.
Maybe.
Yes.
But just the same, you would imagine they're super badasses.
Yep.
And we know, Buffy not to be an idiot. So it's very strange that she would lead anything directly to her house.
She's kind of an idiot in this episode.
In this episode,
overall,
yes. Well, I think in general, everybody's motivations, their intelligence, how they react to things can change week to week in a TV show that has multiple writers and just for convenience. So yes, she doesn't know that Angel's a vampire, but does, if you watch it, it's beautifully done. They open the door, she goes, come in, and shuts the door.
Caught that.
So he does get invited in. There's no awkward like, are you going to invite me in?
Yeah, so it's very subtle, but I did catch it, and I did love it because it made me well because they talk right after that. He says, "I've never tested that theory or whatever."
It's all right. A vampire can't come in unless it's invited.
I've heard that before, but I've never put it to the test.
Because I remembered, so like this whole time I've been thinking, what are the rules of the vampires exactly, right? And I didn't know if the invite them in thing like applies here or not. Because I know that it applied in the movie. I might be misremembering this, but I remember an epic scene of the dude's friend outside being like, "Come on, man, let me in," and he's like, "I don't know, dude. Why are you floating?" or whatever. He's just outside of his like second floor window being like, "Come on, let me in."
You're floating. Come on, man, get away
Like it's this great
outside
thing.
of Pike's window, he's
Pike. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
it's a good scene.
So they've kept that consistent, and
Sure
he
did. And
must
that's
be
one of
invited
the,
in.
honestly, I really love that facet of what their world of vampires is. The not being like, I am safe inside my house. Like, that's cool,
Right.
as long as I don't ever invite you in.
I'm now curious, and it varies by vampire lore, but we've already seen them go into the morgue and stuff.
Sure.
Is that considered not to be someone's place?
No one,
Like, how does that
if
work?
it's not a house,
Right.
and even if it is a house, but the owner dies, you can go in.
Ooh,
So
I like it.
that's like the standard like vampire rule.
Can you kill the owner like 2 feet out of his door and then just go in, holding his dead corpse?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Interesting. Okay.
'Cause I feel like yes. I don't think it matters who dies, and it's not like somebody watching like, oh, you can't kill him.
No, it's weird, right? Because like this is one of those rules that is super supernatural, right? And like True Blood would like dabble in certain things too, where you go like, wait, what? No, the rule. How does that work? How do you know?
Yeah.
Because she even, I think, in this episode, Buffy turns it off. She says to like Angel,
You're not welcome here. You come near us and I'll kill you.
"You're no longer welcome here," and he's like, "Yikes!"
I think that's
Did that
just
do anything?
in words alone.
Yes.
I do believe you can make an unwelcoming spell, but I don't believe that just saying you're not welcome. I think that was more of her. This is a threat. I'll kill you if you
No,
ever
no,
come
no.
back.
Like,
in fact, I think she went super easy on him.
I thought it was. Working on multiple levels.
I love
but yes.
I love like she like throws him through the window. So
Yeah.
aside from the having to explain to your mom, oh, you must have fell on a barbecue fork.
Yes.
You have to say like, well, what happened to the front window? That was like a bay window. That's expensive. What are you doing?
No.
And like to not just do anything else to like let her emotion be like, okay, I loved you or whatever. Get out of here. And if I see you again. Because at that moment,
Yeah.
she believes he was attempting to kill her mother.
Yep.
That's a very weird, pull for you here.
Yep.
And like,
It's
while,
very strange.
While she acts what I feel is out of character at that moment, Angel also, turns fucking heel on a dime when Darla kind of convinces him, she's gonna kill you, you have to kill her, and like they fight in the bronze, and like,
Yeah.
and yes, he
Was
does
that
seem
genuine,
like
though?
he is giving a half-hearted attempt
Yeah.
to make her kill him.
Right, I think he's
But
committing
just
a,
the same,
like a complex form of suicide.
the
where
way
he's
he
like-
did it, I
yeah.
think he would have done it a more brooding, like self-sacrificey way. It seemed like he went about it in an unangelic manner.
Let's get it done.
So back to the house, they go in there, the invitation's passed, they're taking refuge from the three, she's tending to his ribs because he's gotten, slashed with a piece of metal.
Still not clear about the injuries and how all that works, and shouldn't they be healing like Wolverine or something? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's not a one-to-one heal rate
Yeah.
type of deal, but like I think more of that we'll go into as time goes on. But the thing that interests me is just for the purposes of being able to look him up like hot quickly, there's this tattoo of a bird on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And I don't remember everything because, again, my mind is rotted with whatever, but I feel like that tattoo goes away. Because I don't have a deep memory of that tattoo.
Sure.
I also, something that caught me by surprise that I did not remember at all was there's like gunplay by Darla, and I was like, I remember only like 2 episodes with guns
Yes.
ever, and this was not one of them. So I was like, oh, sweet, a memory.
The tattoo is super weird because it is like in that book.
It's mentioned some 200 years ago in Ireland of Angelus.
Like Giles is like, oh, does he have a tattoo? And they're like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's how they like identify him because he's famous.
Sure.
He got written about apparently. Whatever. How
Well, he's
convenient.
like 240 years old, so like
That's
certain things
That's
make
a long
sense.
time if you're American, but that's not a long time for ancient books or whatever.
No, but like I could see the
Yeah.
Watchers Council having books on things like this.
Yeah.
It's the things that don't make sense to me are like the like little bits and bobbles where I'm like, how did that happen? This isn't whatever.
I
'Cause, like,
understand, but
what-
literally-
Darla's like 100 years older than him, or no,
Something, she's
Darla's like
older.
400. The Master I think is like 600.
Chump ass.
And I don't remember if any of that is ever said in the show or if that was like in a book.
Well, he mentions how long he's been with Darla in this
Sure.
episode, so that's where the 400 would come from.
Okay.
We can piece it together.
Yeah,
but
and
yes.
he's like 200 years older than her.
And he was and like Angel was apparently like epic, so they decided to give him like a chapter or something.
Sure.
Angel. He was the most vicious creature I ever met.
But still, I thought it was funny that the tattoo is in there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, someone's been able to like, oh, I caught him sleeping and drew the tattoo into the ancient book.
Well, they also write he's handsome.
Yeah, he's a looker. Exactly.
I love Xander's line, like, I wasn't gonna say anything.
The one with the angelic face.
They got that right.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah,
Inject a little humor
He's
into
still
it.
carrying this torch and all that stuff.
Of course.
For Buffy.
How could he
But,
not?
so you also mentioned the gunplay from Darla.
Yes.
Which is garbage.
Sure.
That sucks so much.
Scarier.
That's not her thing. She's
No.
not like a gunsmith.
There's no
But
setup for that.
you
There's no
would
reason for
think-
that.
You would
Yeah.
think if you're alive for so many hundreds of years, you'd be pretty proficient in a lot of things.
Something.
So like, she does come across as not professional in any way,
No, the way
though they
she's-
mentally paint her as like a tactician and like, oh, you were my
Yeah.
left hand and Angel was my right, and some bullshit like that. It's weird, and Darla dies in this episode.
Angel.
And like,
Yes.
if you only watch the series through once, like Darla leaves like such a bigger impression that like, you're like, oh, Darla.
I remember Darla from like other episodes.
Of course.
I know this
I didn't
picture's
wanna
not
spoil-
dead.
I didn't wanna
They're gonna
spoil
open up
you.
a fucking portal or do some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with Darla.
Spoilers.
Whatever. Is that no? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. But the point is, that whole ending kind of sucks. It's so dark.
Mm-hmm.
Even when she's fighting Angel, it sucks. There's some decent stuff, but the lighting is really shitty. The
Yeah.
guns are really shitty. The whole thing
Lighting
is like
across the
at end
board
there.
in Buffy the Vampire Slayer was such a specific thing that I could turn on to any part of any episode,
like-
even if I hadn't seen the episode, I would know I am watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Even if none of the main characters are on screen,
Yeah.
you just
It,
go like,
it could
whoa.
be just other characters doing a throwaway scene before a thing happens.
Yeah.
And I think any Buffy fan can say the same. Like it's such a very specific, mild look.
I normally like the vibe though, but this like finale of this episode
Mm-hmm.
where I was like pissed. I was like, this is the Angel one. Is you doing this shit? This sucks. That
Yeah.
was like my take on the whole on that climactic battle that they have.
But we learn all the old stuff about Angel in this episode. So
We do.
We learn that he is cursed.
Gypsies. The elders conjured the perfect punishment for me. They restored my soul.
That he has a soul.
A Romani gypsy
Yes.
curse. Yes. Which I'm like, okay, because this whole time, right, you've watched me be like, I'm pretty sure Angel's a vampire. I'm pretty sure they reference him being like a vampire for a long time. So I don't understand why he's like not a vampire because he's bleeding and he's like, oh, Buffy, be careful. Like, what the hell's going on here? And now I know the answer and I'm very much like a little mystified or like to say something else where I'm like, okay, so he was cursed to have like a soul, like a conscience, like to
Yes.
be like, himself again, I guess, but be a vampire.
You have no idea what it's like to have done the things I've done. And to care.
I've always thought that is the worst curse possible.
I would love it.
Well, because as Darla at least believes it to work, she thinks that if he kills the Slayer, he'll become evil again. He'll join back on our side. Now, she doesn't cite any sources as to why she believes that.
I didn't even catch that.
But that's what she believes in this episode.
Yeah.
She wants to bring him back into the fold. She talks that over with the Master.
I just figured it was like he will lose this spark of hope and he will succumb to our
Maybe.
whatevers. But yeah, go ahead.
But like, if that were at all a possibility, what the hell's the point of a curse? If it's like if your problem is I've cursed you, now you have a soul and you think about all these things. But if you could just throw that away in any means or way,
I don't think that's it.
It's a ridiculous thing. They do go into more detail on all of this stuff over
Details
the
of the
next.
curse and
Yeah,
stuff.
There's
Yes,
more
yes.
things.
No, we're gonna have to unpack the curse.
I'm only gonna
I
ever
believe-
talk about on purpose the things that we know up until that moment.
That's all I'm doing mostly,
yeah.
besides the Darla thing. Where I'm like, don't even try to pretend. I'm like, oh no, Darla's dead. I'm like, I've seen her in like seasons of the show. I feel like I don't know what's going on, but whatever.
We'll see.
Whatever. Wearing like a dress. Maybe it's like someone else who's not Darla, some weird. You're like Farla. You're some other chick, but it's her and she's exactly this. Don't talk to me. It's fine.
Are we going to talk about boys or are we going to help you pass history?
But I know that chick from Dexter, right? Who I cannot stop. Like she's so young and looks so weird here compared to her role, because she was like the mom on like Dexter, basically. Dexter.
A polar opposite character of Dexter, where she
Yeah.
was such a timid mouse
And
there,
super, like-
and here she's like, yeah, hurt me, do this shit, whatever, I
Yes.
like it.
You're hurting me. It's good too.
And
You're like, oh, you're an actress.
So just hearing the same voice, that like baby voice of hers doing both things was very much like, oh no. And then she bursts into ashes, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? None of this makes sense.
I always really liked her, like when she does the vamp face, her face looks really cool with it.
Okay.
And like how her teeth look and stuff.
But there was a hilarious scene that we need to show, I think.
Sure.
Where Buffy's mom is like, I thought I heard something. What's going on? And
Oh,
then she moves
in the
away,
window.
and it's like, and she shows up like this comes out of the side.
Yeah.
She looks like a ventriloquist puppet of herself. It looked really bad there.
Like
but I do
blue
agree.
lit background, yeah.
It was weird there, but like it's because it was like kitchen lighting, I guess, something like that.
Something.
But in general, no, her look is great because like Angel even says like schoolgirl outfit. What are you doing? She's like, well, trying to fit in or whatever. And then she goes and sweet talks the mom, does the whole thing, worms her way in there. Do you want something to eat? I do. And goes through.
Something little or big? Oh, Joyce, what a host.
Do you feel like something little or something big?
Something big.
So Xander didn't need any reason not to trust Angel in the beginning because he already didn't like him. He's competition. He's moving in on his girl.
Too pretty.
So in this one, like finding out that he's a vampire, is already a good thing for him. After especially finding out that he spent the night at Buffy's house.
Oh no.
And he already thinks he's like that's the oldest ploy in the book. And she's like, what? Like saving my life and getting slashed in the ribs?
Duh. I mean, guys will do anything to impress a girl.
I love that.
I'm pissed I haven't thought of it myself.
I love the later obvious statement, honestly, where like, he's a vampire. You're a vampire hunter.
Yeah.
Kill him.
This is the only thing that I thought was even like slightly like creepy or something like that. But it makes sense in the context where like he's super on board with like, well, you gotta do this. What are we gonna do? Like they kind of film it and like the audio visual cues kind of try to make you think he's doing like a sleazy thing, I think, right? It makes sense.
But it's such a
in the
weird thing,
context
and
of
I
the
get
show.
what you're saying.
Yes.
I get what you're saying, but it's
He's
weird to
saying-
say it's
Yes.
that his is the sleazy action where it's like, yeah, you should kill this vampire who's 224 years older than you, who's making out with you,
Yes.
grooming you into a child bride. That's creepy. You should kill him. Like
I think she's legal. I don't know how old she's supposed to be and like
16.
what state she's in. California,
16,
though? I don't know
California.
if it's 16 or 17 there. My thing though
I
was
think
going
you have to be within 200 years. I think is the rule.
Is that in the law?
I think so.
What do we live? Russia? This is crazy. I thought this was America. It'd be 300 and no less. It makes sense what he's saying though, because in the context, so like my thing was like, he's kind of advocating for his own personal ends that she should kill this person, right?
Yeah.
But he's not a person to Xander or Giles or
No.
anybody. We as the audience know he's a person because he's David Boreanaz. He's lovable,
Sure.
pretty man.
But let's not forget,
But
5 episodes
Xander's
earlier,
know
his
that.
best friend died because of vampires.
Yes.
There's definitely still a
no,
spot in
no,
the
no.
heart where all vampires must
Yes.
die. There are no good vampires.
100%.
Even Giles, who is what you would consider a vampire expert, is like, there are no good vampires. So
Right.
you can't fault Xander for
I
thinking
know.
they're all bad.
Angel's a vampire. You're a slayer. I think it's obvious what you have to do.
But I see
Especially if they're good looking.
I see where an audience member would be like, how dare you, Xander, do that? But I'm sure this is not what anyone has canceled Xander over, over.
I don't think that's particular.
like
There's definitely
wishing
people
death upon
that
Angel.
have trouble with the age difference in the relationship. And on my first watch, I was like,
Yeah.
you people are idiots. Love is love, whatever is that. But now I'm like, at 16, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you don't have the wherewithal to be saving the world, let alone like be not taken in by this Epstein fucking
No,
angel.
but like, yeah, I don't want to get off on a thing, but like, yes, the idea is that there's a power imbalance and
Sure.
and like consent can't really be given, and he's lived like 7 lifetimes or something, so it's kind of like, then maybe not or something, but
More if you just count how many years is her lifetime. Like how
Yes.
many multiples of her lifetime does he have?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I was doing like 30, I think, some rough, like, okay, like whatever. But yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
But,
I look all past it because I generally like these characters and I don't care.
Exactly.
But I can see, like, this is one that I'm like, no, I can understand why people don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way, but I
think-
can understand it.
I think she's had a harder life, and I don't know, like, this episode's whatever it is, and,
Mm-hmm.
and it does seem to be this, right? I don't know overall if the show does a good enough job of fleshing out their relationship and to where, where it kind of is like believable and makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll leave that for the future, I suppose.
Sure.
Brought you some dinner.
It's a little plateless, sorry.
So I mentioned Cordelia, not really heavy in this episode. She does have one great moment where you think she's overheard Xander say vampire, and she's like screams.
What?
But really, it's that she sees somebody with a knockoff of her designer dress.
Where did you get that dress? This is a one-of-a-kind Todd Oldham. Do you know how much this dress cost? Is this a knockoff? This is a knockoff, isn't it? Some cheesy knockoff.
Yes.
But not before, Xander gets a quick thing of umpires. I mean,
I didn't say
umpires.
vampire, I said umpire. Everyone hates them. Yes.
Yeah.
I know. And that dress is hideous, by the way.
I think for the time it was fashionable.
It was a hideous time. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's my favorite time.
I know. That's why I'm saying it to you, because you're the expert. Getting back to the whole situation that happens later, I thought a lot of the stuff with the framing angel for the mom thing was very awkward.
Yeah.
I don't like, I guess, the like TV thing of, oh, well, you said this before, and then we all rushed off to like kill someone, and now you're like saying it differently, and someone's like, oh, wait a minute, yes.
Had Darla killed the mother though, that would have been a like flawless plan. Like would have worked perfectly.
Get a new actress in there, right?
Yeah.
And just fucking do it. Yeah.
Because there's
like a new mom. I don't know how they would replace the mom. Never mind.
No, there just wouldn't be a mom. She'd like move in with Willow or something.
Yeah. So then we have Willow's mom as the mom.
Mrs. Rosenberg.
Okay, go ahead.
But I think that the plan itself wasn't a problem.
Yes.
It's just the execution led for that exact thing. Where like, wouldn't one phone call have solved all these issues?
It feels clunky.
Yeah.
And like just with like and this is like their first season. They're trying to get from point A to point B. Like you said, like I think it's a commercial break because it kind of like fades to black and then he flies out the window.
Yeah.
Like they do not address like he's holding her up. Do you like?
Yeah, no.
Does he put her down? Like, do you rush him? Like, how does this play out?
Also, he like can't control his vamp face, where like
Yes.
that doesn't seem to be a problem like later on. It was for convenience of this.
Right.
And a lot of people are like that. We're like yes, pain usually like contorts your face, but he's been a vampire for 240 years.
He's gotten very good at it.
You'd think he'd be pretty good at it. You also would think like a lot of stuff makes sense when you're like, oh yeah, he'd be one of the most badass fighters alive. He's been around for so long, fighting off how many vampire hunters, fighting off people, killing people, doing this, that, and the other thing. But like he didn't really display that up until this time. So once you actually do know his age, you're like, hey, he's kind of a cowering bitch.
Kind of a chump.
And I can understand that not wanting to go face to face with the Master because the Master is older than him, potentially stronger than him. Even Darla, older than him, potentially stronger than him.
Do they do the age equals strength thing in this universe? Or do you want to let me find that on my own?
I don't know that they
up.
directly say that.
Right.
But I think people do get better, in general, over
like
time.
I don't know why the Master looks like a monster in this, right? But sometimes vampire lore does a thing where as you age, right, the blood like soaks in more and you become twisted and weird, but also more and more you like marinate in it, right? And you get more powerful.
I
don't know.
I can off the top of my head recall like one instance with something like that, but in general. Either we don't experience people that old, or it just doesn't seem to be that big of a thing.
It doesn't seem like the ages
it's
are
when
like,
convenient.
Yeah, like thousands of years, like they are sometimes.
Yeah.
Like no one's opening like a crypt and finding some ancient from Samaria. Like maybe later, no problem. Don't worry.
And like the Master is, I believe, a self-given title. He's not like the first vampire or anything.
Sure.
So like it's a very like it has some German name with an H. I want to say I can't remember his real name.
Henry.
You know it,
Helmut?
Henry. More like a Heinrich or some weird shit like that. But whatever.
Awful.
Like you're 600 years old. You're not like biblical.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like you're not the original. Like there aren't well, maybe we'll see later, but there aren't vampires that throw like orbs of blood magic or something like that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Maybe we do. The show runs for a long time.
Yeah, not long enough. Some say.
Ooh.
I'm some.
I say it was perfect.
Nah. Need more.
Something that I liked was the, you probably hated this actually, I don't know, the cross burning into Angel's like flesh.
Well, I have mixed feelings about it. So it's something that I think is genius on the first watch, because like you immediately go, that's a mistake. Like she's wearing this cross. It didn't do anything to him. Why didn't he get shot back like Luke did? Like what's going on here? And like then you're like, okay, maybe it's because he's not a bitch. And then when the reveal of him being burned by it, I kind of love that because I'm like, okay, it wasn't a mistake because you do think of it as like, oh, that's the cross she's wearing. wait a minute, it's very framed in the shot. How does that not make a thing?
So there's like a spotlight on the cross. I feel like
Kinda.
it's so obvious.
It's framed
that she's wearing
in
the
the very
cross.
center of the
they
shot.
They are trying to project, like, guess what?
Yeah.
I think to give the audience the moment that you're describing, which I also experienced, which was like, wait, she has that stupid cross. Does she always wear the cross? How does that not do anything? She's fought like 1 million people now. This is ridiculous. And then it cuts back to brooding Boreanaz, and he's just like got the thing
but
going.
That's the issue with the cross. Like strength, it's inconsistent. Where it's like, is this repelling you from a distance? Are you afraid of this? Does it only burn you? Are you just scared of being burned? Is that what's keeping you away?
Right? Could I be holding like a hot stick and you're just like, oh no, right? Yeah, because I think Giles has a cross and a vampire just knocks it out of his hand at one point.
Sure.
Like it isn't like pinning them down the way it does in certain lore, Yeah.
But again, like you'll see in some things, like it will keep you away like a 4-foot shield. Like it's inconsistent. But I thought the execution of the necklace and the burn in his chest, I thought, oh, that was nice.
Okay.
Just to call out a few funny lines, I like in the very beginning after Xander's dance thing, and Cordelia insults his masculinity, I think, and he says something to the effect of, I don't know what anyone's talking about. That doesn't make you look like a whore or a hooker or something.
He does like the loud thing.
Yeah.
Where two people are talking, and then the funny guy says, "No, I will not have sex with you," and then walks away.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what? And everyone turns their heads like, what is happening over there? Yeah.
Hey, I don't know what everyone's talking about. That outfit doesn't make you look like a hooker.
He gets another one at the very end of the episode where he's looking away, Willow's looking past him, and he goes, no, it's fine as long as they're not kissing, and Willow's face.
Well, as long as they're not kissing.
Is so great.
Before that, he says, "What's going on?" She's like, "Nothing." This is awesome. Willow's great. I love everything about her.
Perfect.
I've always loved her, not just because of the Dark Willow episode or whatever that I saw 100 times, because those were the heavily played seasons. I feel like. But Willow's great. Alison Hannigan's great. She keeps nailing it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. The episode left me with a few questions, because you see, throughout the last 7 episodes, the Master has very little in the way of henchmen left. It's got him, he's got his little child friend, and that seemed to be it down there. And I was wondering what does he feed on? Is he sending a little child up to bring him down food? Because if he's trapped down there, how does he even recruit new people? Do they just know he's down there hey, you looking for henchmen?
Yes, this is my last note too, where I was I don't think he's playing this game right. We need to keep a revolving door. You need to keep some activity going, because I don't know, maybe we'll find out, but I don't know, to your point, his only henchman is, is the Anointed One, who's cool,
seemingly.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll fight Buffy in the next episode. Who knows? But he seems to be more advising him about stuff.
Yeah,
and
he's a little prophet.
Yeah, and the Master's into it. He's like, "Oh, from the mouths of babes, yes, wisdom." And he's like, "Kill her." And he's like, "Fuck yes." But there's no one else. There's usually a line of dudes where he's like, you, go over there, you, do this.
And it could have just been we caught him at that moment. But he had to send someone to get the 3. Does he have a telegraph? How does that work?
Yeah, this is
when Darla was around, I was like, okay, that is a powerful vampire that is free range, that can do things.
And she's making his will happen in the world and gathering people and communicating.
And before that, you had Luke, who was potentially even more powerful than
and
her.
A bunch of other people.
Yeah.
And Buffy's, I think, killed them all.
Sure.
So I don't know what the hell he's gonna do now. Not that he's stuck yet, but to your very astute point, if the Anointed One is taken out, is he just alone? Is well, I guess I'm going back to bed, and goes back in the blood pad.
Yeah, right.
He's just done. How do you start this process? How do you get the recruitment? There's recruitment, procurement, operations, tech. You need all these departments.
Because if I'm him,
who's doing IT
I
for the Master?
Everybody out.
Yes.
When I had 10 people down there. Okay, we're doing a pyramid scheme, boys. You go out. Each one of you convert 1 more. Okay, now I have double. Each one of you go out, convert 1 more, and keep doing that, because we saw the 3 could almost beat Buffy.
Okay. Look, I really don't want to fight all 3 of you unless I have to.
3 on 1. That's a fight. Especially with actual skilled people.
Angel had
if
to
you
help her.
sent 80, I don't think it would be that hard. If you sent 80 with guns, I think you already won.
I think his end game is to bring about the eternal night and do blah blah blah.
Yeah, he's
blah.
got plans.
These are big stakes, and so he doesn't need to worry about what if someone catches on? They've caught on. They're actively working against you. So now it's
honestly,
time to
Honestly, the plan should not be to kill Buffy. It should be to catch Buffy.
Yeah.
Because when you kill a Slayer, a new Slayer rises. If you catch one and keep it trapped forever,
exactly.
that's how it is. It's revealed in that opening thing.
Well, it says once in a generation a Slayer is born.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're saying that like a new one pops up exactly when the old one's heart stops even for a moment. Just new ones start getting pooped out somewhere else or whatever.
I believe they
Like
say
giant
those exact
chrysalis.
words. They say something to the effect of,
You don't watch the
"Oh,
intro, do you?"
They're like gremlins. If water touches them, new ones come.
So, oops, all Slayers. We got so many Slayers here.
Goodbye, stakes. Hello, flying fatality. What can I shoot?
Okay, so like my in closing things for the episode. Before I forget, we see Xander hold a skateboard. That's
What?
not important, but he holds a
What?
skateboard for a moment during his kill Angel
Does
thing.
it burn him like the cross?
Oh, you
burned
know it
Angel?
does.
Oh no, I can't touch this anymore.
Him all grabbing that fuck. What I was gonna say is Joyce is in the hospital because she
Yes.
had just gotten attacked, and you have this great thing where like like all the Scoobies show up and they're like they're showing their support, and Buffy's always like, and who's that?
Mom, this is Mr. Giles.
The librarian from your school. What's he doing here?
This school's fucking
This
great.
school's amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of. I thought it was kind of cringe. There's a lot of that dialogue where she's just like, "Oh, they care so much," and then she's talking to Giles like, "She, is Buffy just not applying herself? What's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll give you advice," and they're having all these talks and all that stuff. Like the amount of like idiocy the mom has to have to not start to be suspicious about some of these things.
Like you
And
think he's having an affair with the teacher at some point. Like,
Right.
why does he keep showing up? What's going on here? You're a librarian. She's not even that smart. What are you doing?
Okay, exactly. Like not to be suspicious of vampires, but just to be suspicious.
yeah.
Because even that chick Buffy dated for like a day was very suspicious. Like, why are all these people here again? He was like, wait, you're here again?
You said
Okay,
even that
you're
chick. It threw me off completely.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. The dude.
I was like, wait a minute. What did I miss?
Even the dude. Well, maybe that comes later, and I'm mixing up my episodes. No, that dude. I forget his name, but he was the dude that helped in the morgue.
Owen?
And Owen. Maybe it's Owen. Yeah, and she had to be like, no, my life's too hard. You gotta chill. But even that guy was like, wait, they're here again? Like, wait,
Yeah.
what is this? This is not. What's
And
really going on here, right? Yeah.
And he had other things on his mind. Her mom should be like,
be laser
Hawk-eyed.
focused, right?
Exactly.
Because when Angel showed up, she was like, I'm gonna be very cold and like make sure that you're saying no.
Yeah,
no,
but
no.
it was, I'm going to go upstairs now. You'll be down here alone. I suggest you leave.
I'm gonna go to bed. And Buffy?
I'll say goodnight and do the same.
Respect you as a young lady, and
And then he ends up spending the night. She wasn't doing due diligence at all.
I'm glad that we looped back on this because I also hated this because this was like Stranger Things level goofy, like
Angel eating Eggos in the closet?
Yeah, he's hiding in the closet. I watched your mom from the closet while she was cleaning up. Like, it almost would have been better because there's so much that they don't address. Like waking up in the morning, what happens, how does he, and then he hides, and where is he hiding, and what is he doing? And Buffy must, like, she doesn't know he's a vampire yet, right? So she's like,
Nope, not at that point.
Where are you? What are you eating? Like, where are you shitting? Like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? She doesn't say like, my mom goes to work at this time, so hide until then. And then he crawls under her bed. Just give me something where I'm like, what's happening? Which is fine if like they don't want to address it, but just have him come back later. Why does he have to hide there all day?
If you're a human, he could have left at dawn. Like.
Yes. But he was hiding because the three, right?
No, but at dawn, they wouldn't have been able to be outside because they're vampires.
There you go, right? So this didn't like work.
No, it was
really
very
goofy.
strange.
And like
even in the morning when when the sun comes up, her room is flooded with light.
Yeah.
Did he hide in the closet immediately? Was she not like, this is strange?
UV glass, yes.
Ooh.
Or it's him dressed like E.T. with a big thing over his thing, like, hey, just gonna go back to sleep. And she's like, what? No, so like, I don't know why it was even structured like this to make this happen, because this seems like it feels sloppy. Is my point.
Just convenience, much like how her diary happens to be on the counter, just to get her to go. You read my diary? He said I was reading.
Too.
It should have been like, what were you reading? Because you said you weren't reading the diary. I didn't see any other books. So
Buffy doesn't own a single book.
So I think you were reading the diary.
Right, exactly.
But he's a gentleman, so maybe he wasn't. But she still spilled all the contents of the diary through her babbling.
You don't even know what I was writing about. Hunk can mean a lot of things, bad things. And when it says that your eyes are penetrating, I meant to write bulgy.
Buffy.
And A doesn't even stand for angel for that matter. It stands for Ahmed, a charming foreign exchange student. So that whole fantasy part has nothing to even do with you.
Mega cringe of like, it could be anyone.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about ancient whatever instead of whatever the
Hunky
like,
could be a
fantasy.
bad thing.
Yeah. No, it's just I was like, guys, please.
Even the plot convenience of like they kiss and he just vamps out. Like
Yeah.
What? What's wrong?
Well, he's horny.
I guess that's a thing. When you get horny, you get spiky, toothy, whatever.
Well, yes.
Makes sense to me.
Freaking and fornicating, no. Fighting and fornicating are very close on the emotional spectrum. So
what is it they say? It's flight or fuck? What is it?
that's one of them.
All right, I think that's everything that happened in this episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next week for episode 8.
Hello, internets. I just love watching Justdaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.